Slanja, y'all. Welcome to Tuesday night. It's Scotch on the Bayou. I'm Leanne. I'm here to have fun and talk about squeak. Uh, Getting back to Scotland. It's coming up, and it's kind of freaking me out. We're 4 weeks from leaving. I am. Anyway, so yeah, kind of crazy and fun and exciting. Because I've had some friends over there this past week, and they've been blowing my phone up. and and we're all going to learn about FOMO, the fear of missing out, right? So that's kind of what's going on. I know quite a few of you all have been able to get over there, and some of you are still trying to get over there. And I'm going to tell you, there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. So welcome Tuesday night. We're here. We're going to be doing some planning and some dramming about and around my upcoming trip to Scotland. Let's see who is all in. Hey, Too Slow, welcome, welcome. You're always fast and quick on the draw, friend. And Sugar Kitty is in the house. Meow, my friend. Thanks for coming and seeing us. Good to see you. And good morning to you, Andrew. Yeah, super excited to get back over there. That's for sure. Martin Whiskey Franco says, yeah, evening, wonderful people. Excited to talk about something that's very important. That Bonnie Scotland, Alba. I just all the fun names for it for sure. It is getting so close. I've already started pulling clothes and figuring out packing situations. Hey Chuck, good to see you. Welcome Alt Minion in. Yeah, just I hear you. I hear you, Martin. I do. Hey, Slanja friend. Hey, Martin. Good to see you too. And my cohort in crime. Hey, Jennifer. Good to see you. Tell Abby I said hey. Won't be long. I'll be over there and seeing y'all for sure. Um, yeah, we're pretty cool. Yay! Yeah, Abby is watching tonight. Hey, Abby, we'll see you. We're gonna have a lot of fun. That's for sure. Hey James, good to see you too. Thanks for being here. I love how everybody we're all knowing each other and getting to know each other, right? And all these particular and usual names, and we're learning so much from one another. I really do love seeing y'all show up. I really do appreciate it. I think we have a lot of fun, and we're starting to, grow a really good group. We got a great group of Camp Drammers that support the channel. It's really important. I really do appreciate that, and that's a big part of what this trip is going to be. Is um, going over there and really diving into nuts and bolts of distilleries and just the culture of Scotland and what all there is there. My first couple of trips, and we've got quite a few new folks, so I'll talk a little bit about that. The first trip, I just wanted to go to Scotland. I didn't know anything about whiskey. That's where I happened upon Oban, and then everything changed. The second time, it was pretty much just Islay. I was in Glasgow for a little bit, got to go to Glengoyne, but not to the point where I got to really go into an adventure and purposely go to distilleries. I was there for the whiskey school, for the Islay Whiskey Academy, but it was really just to get there and get back, and didn't get a lot of time to explore. This time, of course, this time should have happened in 2020, but it didn't. This time, it's all about discovery and purposefully seeking out, especially those distilleries that have come into be my jam. Those distilleries that we can actually get into. So then we're going to talk a little bit about that tonight, and kind of walk you around the map and give you an idea about what my itinerary is. And then we're going to drink along the way. We're going to plan and we're going to dram. I like that. Planning and dramming. Hey, great to see you, Michael. Yes, you can watch some time as the Mariners taking care of the Phillies. God love you, and I hope you enjoy your baseball. Uh, Football's more my thing, and even a cute guy in high school couldn't get me to understand the rules of baseball. I asked when halftime was. I learned what a seventh inning stretch was at that point. But now I know all kinds of things about baseball. And our college team here, LSU, has a really pretty good college baseball team. It's a lot of fun to watch. And hey, Mike, good to see you too. Thanks for being here. I really appreciate it. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Yeah, y'all are still up, and I do appreciate that effort. I really do, Andrew. You too, James. So tonight I'm gonna start out. Let me know what y'all are drinking, and tell me which maybe which of the regions you really like the most, or you seem to be drawn to, or even whether or not you're drawn to certain regions at certain times of the year. I think sometimes when the holidays come around and you kind of getting in the Christmas mood, I seem to gravitate to Speysides and that, heavy sherry and stewed fruits and Christmas spices and things like that. But, just it's all kinds of things. And when you look at Scotland and all it has to offer, it's each region is got such a mix of things now where they're not so strict on region specific palettes, right? So we'll talk all about things like that. This guy just got back. Woohoo! The countdown's on. Yes. I'm gonna have a blast, man. And I still need to talk to you before I leave. Because one of the cool things I'm doing in Campbelltown, you and your wife just did. And I'm like, so excited. So for those of you who know Mark Goins, he's over there right now. And if you watched Roy's show last Thursday, where he was on location at the Isle of Raasay with Alistair Day and all his great people, Mark JG was there the day before. He was there on Wednesday. And between he and Roy were blowing my phone up with all these pictures. And I'm just like going, oh, I couldn't get there fast enough, right? But yeah, they had a super time. And then Mark's been sending me pictures of different tastings he's been at, and it was really pretty funny. One of them, all I could see was like a flight on this tablecloth, and I looked at it and went, they're at Lefroy, because I immediately recognized the tartan. Like, I didn't have my glasses on, so I couldn't see what the expression was, but I immediately knew by the tartan on the tablecloth they were at Lefroy. It was that khaki color with the green and the black and the white. I was like, yep, that's Lefroy. So yeah, lots of fun, lots and lots of fun. So yeah, we're gonna go walk around. Tell me what you're drinking. Okay, so very very close. Ooh, drinking a Glenallachie 12. I love Martin's flight. So if you make sure you follow him on Instagram, the Whiskey Franco, because he always posts, especially after Tuesday nights, what his flight is, and I just absolutely love it. So a Glenallachie 12, an SMWS Ben Nevis, and some other SMWS. Completely forgot which one. Doesn't matter. They're all good, right? That's awesome. Interesting that's going to be really close to where I start my trip. So Donna Passesi took the trip 1 year ago. Seems like yesterday, right? Definitely we'll have a great time, friend. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's one of those things that if you get to do it, or like any trip that you really look forward to it, you kind of hang on to it and milk it for all it's worth. And that's what we're going to do with this trip, because I'm going to come back with content like mad, and we're going to have a lot of fun with it over the next year, I think, for sure. So my first dram is a Dallion 15. And I'm just going to blame my Southern accent on everything. And I'm drinking samples tonight, y'all. Hashtag drink your samples. This one is at 43%. And unfortunately, you can't go into Dallion. And I know I'm probably butchering the name, but again, they don't have, they don't allow you to come in. Like, they don't have organized tours. But the Spirit of Speyside Festival, they do. So Tamdu opens for that, and let's see, what are some of the other ones? Craigellachie doesn't open, but they do for the festival. So this year I kind of elected not to go to festivals because I didn't want to be among the crowd as much as I wanted to just kind of like be fly on the wall type thing. And so I'm kind of hoping that plays out. And then maybe in the next trip or so, then I can hit one of the festivals, because the Campbelltown Festival is actually the week I get over there. And then Fish Hill is over in Iowa is the week after that. But the route that we're going, we're going to end up missing the festivals. Michael says all you have to do is a few games with a baseball fan, and you'll be informed. You know, I have mad props. My mom's a huge baseball fan, but I have mad props for anybody who can memorize the stats like that, because I liken that to being able to figure out like the stats in whiskey and fermentation times. And I need a little bit of that. I don't have it as much. I don't have it as much as some people do in that. But yeah, so we are going to be counting down to Scotland, planning and dramming. This picture was shot of me in Brooke Lottie's Dunnage house by Ben Shakespeare, who's a photographer on Isla. Go away, mosquito. We have mosquitoes in the house. I was just like, I think that was one of the 7 new makes, I think, that they let us try. Well, now that I'm thinking about it, but yeah, a lot of fun that's going on. And you know, looking at Scotland overall, there's SWA recognizes 5 regions. I say there's 6. By God, the islands are a region. You can't talk me out of it. You just can't. That's just what we're gonna call. So I'm hitting all of them. I didn't realize it until just like when I really thought about Glasgow and Edinburgh, but we're hitting all of them. My brother, I know I talk about him all the time. Ethan is the one who does all my graphics, and this is his drawing of the map. So all the pieces and parts of this island, of Scotland, he drew. He's so dang. I mean, he can paint. I paint walls. He got those genes for sure. So yeah, looking at all of those, it's kind of crazy to see that I'm hitting all of them. But yeah, so we'll start with the Highland region. Now, I am not doing a tour at every one of these places. I am going to be doing some drive-bys and shooting some B-roll and ducking into the Distillery gift shop to see what they have, but definitely don't think I'm going to power through 9, no, 10, 11, 11 distilleries just in the Highlands. I am, but they're going to be short visits, like little drive-by and stop-ups. But I will tell you, so, you know, the Highland region, known for it's more bourbon matured, malt forward, you know, more of those honey, clean whiskey, that type of thing. The 2 places I am going, so I get into Edinburgh and do a few things there. Go see that guy that I kind of like, that musician I like, BT Murrayfield. I'll tell you more about that when we get to the lowlands. But I head up to Inverness. So I get over there by myself first, and then Mark's coming over in the next week. But then I drive up to Inverness, and so I'm guessing probably about right. Inverness is about right there, so about right here. Yeah, about right there is Inverness. And so then I Inverness, and then I go up to Clynelish, and I do a tour tasting at Clynelish. And then I'm working with my buddy Bry to do something special at Glenmorangie. one thing I learned in this trip, planning for this trip, as I dram,
Mm.
is that you can plan to do too much real quick and very easily. And I had to pull back the throttle a bit because I was hell bent on I'm going to drive all the way to Wick. I'm going to go all the way to Wick, and I'm going to go to Old Pulteney because I absolutely adore Old Pulteney. And then I kept looking at logistics because the thing about Scotland is that it may be 45 miles for someone in the States. I can get there in 30 minutes if I drive right, you know? Not so much. That might be an hour and a half on those roads and the different terrain and that type of thing. So you really had to look at Google Maps, kind of figure out because I'm driving, and figure out how to get up there and around and all of that. And it just had sometimes, you know, even as a writer, you have to kill your darlings, and that was my first kill, which really hurt. is to is to kill off not going to Old Pulteney. There'll be other trips, there'll be other times perhaps, and I can worry about doing that then, but I want to enjoy it. So that's a big tip is if you are planning a trip, make sure you're not over scheduling yourself so much. I know that, you know, 11 distilleries on the Highlands looks like a little overscheduled. Of those, one, two, three, four. Of those, only four are going to be tastings. So that's not too bad. You know, the other ones we're going to be driving through, looking, taking pictures, that kind of stuff. So did I get Bob Blair? Oh, you know, I did not. I didn't. Thank you, Donner. I did not put Bob Blair on there, but they are a stop for sure. I think when I was putting Blair Athol, I just thought I covered it. But yeah, that's a really good one. Let me see what else I lost up here. So yeah, Martin says unknowingly you hit Isla 2 weeks prior to Facial last year. That would have been a great time to be there. The buzz is growing, but the crowds weren't there yet. Yeah. So I'm going to be there the week after. So hopefully maybe there'll be, you know, maybe be some festival bottlings maybe still left. I'm not counting on it, but that's okay. I it's gonna be fun just to be on Isla and relax. My first time on Isla was literally passing through to get to Jura to a music festival. So I stopped at this place called Lefroy, and I was like, wow, that's smoky. And yeah, and so the next, you know, and then the academy was very scripted, and we had somewhere to be every single day, and I should have booked in some more time prior to that, but didn't think about it, you know. So yeah, we definitely learn about that. I want to kind of get a gauge on those festivals. My friend um, Terry Lamb, who's up in British Columbia in Vancouver, she'll be leaving in like the week before me and going over for a whole month. And she's been doing journeyman work at different places, and she's going for the Campbelltown festival, and that was one of her favorites. She did it last year, for sure. Um, so Daniel says he just found out Springbank called itself the Western Highland malt back in the 60s. I was like, what? Yeah, that's interesting because, you know, Ardnamurchan calls itself a Western Highland. Oban calls itself a Western Highland. Um, yeah, that's interesting that it was all the way back then. Very cool. Um, yeah, I could spend like all 3 weeks just in the high. You could probably do that. I mean, Campbelltown might be a stretch for 3 weeks, but yeah, you definitely could. There's just so much up there, and it takes a while to get around. It really does. Tomatin too. Did I? Yeah, I got Tomatin on there. Yeah, that's going to be on my way to Inverness. That and Blair Athol for sure. And Brora, yeah, Brora's right there next to Clay Leash. So I'm hoping to kind of do the grand sweep. So that first day, that first, you know, kind of jaunt, I'm driving, so we'll be having driver packs for those two distilleries. Probably have a little sip or a little, well, mostly nosing everything on those two, for sure. Donner, ooh, staying at the Donner Castle. No, I'm not. I've heard about it. I'm checking it out. Definitely want to see what the Thompson brothers have going there. And, this is going to be a big fact finding kind of thing. I've never been up. I went to Inverness, but only to go see the Battlefield Culloden. So, and that was in the first trip in 2016. So that's all foreign to me. It's all foreign to me. I have not been up in that area. I haven't seen that train. I've never been to Speyside. Never been to Speyside. Which, there's so much. I mean, I kind of look at my collection. It's heavy. My collection is heavy in probably Campbelltown and Islay, all things considered. But I've got some decent, representation from Speyside. So, hey Jim, thanks for being here, friend. One of these days I'll get to Highland Park. I think Jennifer and I are going to conspire to get to the Orkney Islands at some point. That's for sure. That's for sure. A chance for TV. Oh, Tampa Bay. Ah, gotcha. Cool. Yeah. So this Dalian that's one so Chad Anderson that you see on chat quite often. That's one of his favorite distilleries. I was like, oh, good. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna do a tour there and find something fun for Chad. And they're not open to the public. So, but I might have some ways. So yeah, the Highlands are going to be a lot of fun. We are trekking. I do a little bit of the Highlands on the front end, and then once Mark gets there, we do some more Highlands. So that's kind of a split up area for sure. So after that, well, yeah. So this kind of is our big city bookends, right? And that's the lowlands. And no, they're not distilleries. I put some other things in there that are kind of related, of course. So getting into Edinburgh, when I fly into Edinburgh, I'm going to hit the vaults, Queen Street, and go see Holyrood. And I'm really excited about that because it's just this, young up and coming. I met Kelly and Rob Carpenter up in Victoria, who own Holyrood. I'm super excited about looking over there for just what they've got going on, and they're so new, and that's going to be really interesting to see. Carolyn, oh my gosh, friend, great to see you. Would you ever have thought this would be occurring? Great to see you, friend. I hope you're doing so well. So the lowlands, they not that many distilleries, right? But boy, they're gaining some new ones. And Bladnock's one of my favorite, but is way down there. So that's going to be on another trip for sure. Lowlands typically, they're known for having a lighter spirit to them, more elegant, softer, maybe, still malt forward, but almost an herbal or grassy note to them. And so within Edinburgh, Holyrood, SMWS. And then once I get through with Speyside, I'll come down, and then Mark flies over to Glasgow. And so we'll be in Glasgow for a couple of days, and we're going to see a couple of friends there, mostly all the barflies, any barfly I can find in Glasgow or anywhere, actually, wherever the barflies are. Let me know if you're a barfly and where I'm going to be. Like, send me a message, scotchonthebayou@gmail.com. But from there, the Glasgow Distillery and Clydeside. I don't know if we're going to have time for both of those, but I definitely want to try to hit those and just check them out and see. Let me know if anyone here or in the comments has gone to any of these, the Clydeside, Holyrood, or the Glasgow Distillery. I know quite a few of you have gone to the vaults, and I've heard super things about it. But yeah, I'm pretty stoked about it. I got to tell you, I really am. Hey, Peter, I saw you jump in here. Yes, I don't think they have anything yet. They may still have old stock they might be releasing, but not anything I can probably afford. But yeah, that does beg to answer whether or not they're going to have anything. Yes, girls' trip to Orkney. I'm all about it. I'm all about it. Oh, the Timmies are going to go. Oh, they're going this year. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, there's just if I had, Jennifer and I were talking about this last week on the phone. We're like, if we were independently wealthy, we would just like maybe live part of the time in Scotland, part of the time in the US. I mean, we both like our families, so we want to stick around for them. Yeah, that's really something. You know, Martin, I saw that on Google Map today, the Tipsy Midgie. And I was wondering, like, if I need to, I don't know if the midges are going to be really bad at where I'm going to go that early, late May. Hopefully it won't be too bad. We'll see. But if I can survive mosquitoes, I think I can survive a midgie. But I'm all about the bug spray. So yeah, I will definitely. I mean, just a picture of the sign in front of the Tipsy Midgie. It almost reminds you of the barfly a little bit, right? That's a hoot. Yeah, so from there, let's see. This Dalian 15 is very light floral on the nose. Ooh wee. So let's get to Speyside. Goodness gracious. And it's super sweet on the front end. And it's got a little kick, even though it's only 43. But it's super easy to drink, no doubt. But very sweet. It's very interesting. Let me rinse the glass out a little bit. So Speyside, there of course are Speyside distilleries that are doing some peated whiskey, like the Week of Peat for the Balvenie, and there's quite a few of them that kind of play with that. But for the most part, they're known as being the sherry bomb, right? Hey, Molasses, good to see you. So my next dram is, of course, I don't know that you can see it but it is a SMWS Glenfarclas, and it's Formidable Chocolate. 12, let's see, no, it's a 15-year, and Speyside from George Kaplan at 58.7. So this is where this part of my trip is thanks to the planning for that is thanks to the community, because the community is what has helped me. I can tell people where to go in Islay. I can pretty much tell you where to go in the Highlands, but Speyside was like another world to me because I just didn't really understand it or know it. So I reached out to actually the Barfile community on Facebook. So if you are not part of that, part of Roy's channel, go ahead, be part of the Barflies there, and said, I need some help in Speyside. What do I need to do? And Graham Fraser was awesome. Hamish was fabulous, and just kind of giving me an idea. Jennifer and I have a for our other classmate who's in Inverary, Michael Stewart, who has a wonderful whiskey shop there. And so I was talking to him a little bit about that because I wanted to figure out where I needed to go to get the biggest bang for my buck. But also, again, I had to reel that back because I was trying to do too much. And well, I could do two things in the morning, two things in the afternoon. It's like, no, how about you just enjoy it, you know? And so when you look at some of the things like Tamdu, like Mortlock, like Craig Alecky, like Dallion, they're not going to let you go in. They're not structured. They're structured for production and not structured for visitors and tourists. So the other big thing is knowing where you want to go and booking those tours. Book the tours before you have your flight. Book your tours before you know where you're going to pitch your head at night. Book your tours because Glenfiddich and the Balvenie are already booked. And it's not like I tried today. I tried, a month and a half ago for May, and they're already booked through August, right? So, and some tours don't really even start till June. Like a lot of the Glenmorangie tours aren't starting till June. What I really want to do at Glenfarclas doesn't start until June. And so it just didn't work with my travel schedule. So I know that for next time, and it's those types of things until you really get into trying to plan these things out, you don't really understand. And you just think, oh, well, they'll have one. Well, no, they don't. So you kind of have to play it by ear. So on Speyside, I'm going to be going to, I'm going to have a driver. We're going to do taxis. I'll do taxis there because all of it is it's so concentrated. It's just everything is just in that one small area. I'm staying in Duffton. I'm staying at a place called the Gables Whisky B&B, who I've followed on Instagram. Please go out and follow them. They're awesome people. I'm so stoked that I'm going to be there 3 nights because I've followed them on Instagram for probably, I don't know, 5, 6 years. And they have a beautiful place with like 4 rooms and a whiskey lounge. So I will be there on Tuesday. Let me look at the date. So 4 weeks from tomorrow I leave, right? So on Tuesday, the 30th of May, we're going to attempt to do the show. And it's going to have to be in the afternoon stateside. Because they have quiet hours and I want to be respectful of them and their other guests, of course. So it's probably going to be like normal Roy time, like 3 in the afternoon or something like that. But we're going to attempt it. We're going to see. It's probably going to be short, but we're going to try. So we'll see how that works out. I'll be doing a tour at Glen Alecky and also Glen Grant. And then I'm going up to Elgin to the Gordon and MacPhail new shop that they have up there. And I'm going to be doing the single cask tasting there. One disappointment that I had is I had it all set up to go to the Speyside Cooperage, which I was really, really stoked about. And then today I get an email that says, I'm terribly sorry. Of course, I'm reading the email in their like accent, right? But Charlotte was very sad to say that they were doing some construction and it doesn't look like it's going to be done in time. So they had to cancel my tour. So I may go knock on the door and see what happens when I get up there and try to turn on the Southern Charm as much as I can and say, I really would like to just kind of just talk to people. I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, I want to be very respectful of it, but I definitely want to, I just really wanted to see how things are made. I love process. I love to see how things are made. That's why I'm a technical writer, right? So when you go back and you look at this list of those, so Glen Alecky, Glen Grant, and I'm doing Aberlour. I am doing that one too. I'll go through Glenfarclas and check that out. I may do a tour. They have like the simple tour kind of thing on that one. and the Gordon and MacPhail, I'll do a massive drive-by of Glenfiddich and the Balvenie. And there's so many that are so close that I'm one morning, all I'm doing is driving around. So before I go to my Glenallachie tasting. So yeah. So tell me, Speyside, what all you all have had or what you like, if you've gone to any of those, and what you think about it. I'm having again this Glenfarclas 1.215 SMWS gifted sample from George Kaplan. Formidable chocolate. Oh, let's get the nose on this. And I'm sitting here going, how am I going to fill an hour talking about my trip? And we're already like 40 minutes in. Oh, well, we're having fun, right? Mm-mm-mm. Mm. Wow. I do get, maybe it's planting a thought in my head, but I definitely do get chocolate on the, like milk chocolate on the palate of this. Almost like a cream brulee or and vanilla, like confectioner sugar on the nose, like burnt confectioner sugar, which, we have cream brulee quite often. I mean, well, it's a New Orleans thing mainly. And with the custard, the vanilla custard in a like around, oh, help me out. What is the name of that? Like a little short, shallow bowl. And then I know what the name of it is. I can't think of it. And then sugar is put on top of it. And then you blaze the hell out of it with a torch. And it just caramelizes and gets that crunchy, like hard topping. That's what this smells like. And at 57.8 or 58.7, 58.7. It does not drink that hot, which could be dangerous. I think I'm going to throw a little water on it. Wow, this is good. The finish is kind of warming, but it's not real. It's not hot. I mean, like not alcohol hot or spice hot at all. Yes. Oh, so so IB of Diamond, because when I started looking at it, I was like, man, I'm kind of heavy on the Diageo. I start looking at everything, right? I mean, because I almost went to Cardew, which I probably will go to Cardew to do I'm not going to do a tour there, but I'll have time to drive by. And I love the story because that really is the first Johnny Walker distillery, right? And so that I think would be really cool to go and see. But I had to make decisions on like where I really wanted to go, and I want to go to the places that really whose expressions really resonate with me. And Glen Grant was one of my first loves. If you haven't caught the Glen Grant live that Jennifer and I did, go back and watch it. It's a lot of fun. We go through most of their core range, and including the 16 that's now discontinued. And I think we even had an SMWS or two on that too. Glenallachie, Billy Walker. I'm just, golly, if the stars can align and I see him, I'm headed to him, and I'll be charming Billy for a signature and a picture for sure. Albalor is like the massive sherry bomb. It is quintessential sherry bomb. Not normally one that I always do, but I want to see more about what they have. So I'm doing a single cask tasting there as well. So most of the things I picked are above and beyond the core range of things, because for the most part, core range I can get. And, they have to have that for people who aren't like us, that are dweebs in the middle of, all the whiskey geekdom. So that'll be there. And again, Glenfarclas has always been a kind of a sentimental favorite as well. Glenfiddich and the Balvenie, and maybe if I can get by Glenlivet, I will do that too. Just the mass of what they do, and the machine that they are. I'd like to see, that too. If I can't do all that, that's okay. I'll just throw it to the next time list, and we'll just kind of go from there. Um, um, let's see who else is in here. Oh, yeah, the Gordon MacPhail test would be a real highlight. Some of the things that they have can only be described as special. I met Richard Urquhart at the Victoria Whiskey Festival, and he was delightful. And going back and looking and understanding the relationship that Glenn Grant had with Gordon MacPhail and his family, and all of how all of that works. He was just so charming, and just he had gone through an entire presentation. I think they had like 10 different offerings during that master class, and then I met him afterwards, and he started all over again talking about matching spirit with cask, and I was just totally enamored by him. So I was like, I must get up there. I absolutely must. It's like going to Cadenhead, in Campbelltown, for sure. Yeah. Hey, West Coast. Hey, Mag. Good to see you. Thanks for being in. Kevin, yeah, curious on the cost of the trip like this, or maybe just a week long one. You know, cost is definitely oof, cost is something. So this is probably the mother of all trips that we will take. So in that sense, it is costing a good little bit, but within reason. It's pretty economical, all things considered. For the amount of what I'm spending for 3 weeks for us to go over there and do, not buying the whiskey for sure. Well, I actually have budgeted for whiskey as well, but to do the tours, the flight over there, I know people who will spend that amount of money in 1 week at Disney. And I'm happy for them. I'm happy for them. If that's what they want to do, that's wonderful. My Disney is in a country called Scotland. And so, and so that's just where I am. But I mean, you're looking at, your air flight. It's a little bit more expensive in the summer. But our vouchers from 2020 were running out in September, early September. So I had to use them. August is a big time to be over there. I didn't want to be there in the crowds. I mean, Fringe is going on in Edinburgh, and I didn't want to really be in the middle of all that. So I prefer October, late September, October is the prime time. I love being over there. So you do that. The B&Bs that we're staying in are anywhere from 80 to 130, maybe $150 a night, and you get a full Scottish breakfast. So when you look at it that way, you're eating and staying for less than you're going to stay at a hotel in the States that you're kind of questionable about. I think that's a win. I got a hell of a deal on the car rental, and then you're there. When in Rome, do. So I'm doing I've saved up. I have saved up and saved up. I have not bought a whole lot of whiskey lately because I want to buy what I might find over there, and it's going to have to be something pretty spectacular for me to buy it over there. But I will be coming home from whiskey. We'll have a whole show on what did Leanne bring back in her suitcase. And they're coming to you on a YouTube channel. Yeah. So it's just the week. I mean, if you're spending, your biggest dollar chunk is getting over there and back. So if you can spring the time, I say make it a longer trip, because once you're over there, that's not where you're racking up the biggest dollars on the cost. It's just getting over there and back for us. But the flight a flight in the fall will be 2/3 of what a flight in the summer is. So that kind of gives you an idea too. Andrew says the Dufftown Distilleries walk is great, and you can see a lot of local places and at least one dram at each. Yeah, maybe next time. Yeah, I've got a little free time, so I'm going to be there 3 days, and then I go over and I meet. Trying to work it to where I'll be over and do Glendronach and maybe Annock and meet and see my buddy Mike over at his store in Inverary, and then I head down back to Glasgow. And Mark comes in, pick up Mark, and then we head up the Highlands, and we'll go up to Ben Nevis, up in that area, and then we get to island hopping. And this is where I say, by God, the islands are a region. Damn it. They should be. I mean, they're so heavily influenced. The ones that are on the west side are, yeah, Western Highland, but even the ones in the Hebrides and I mean Orkney, all of that should be its own category, I think. I don't know who we got to talk to, but we need to make that happen. So we go through. We're not going to be on Skye a lot, so I'm hoping maybe between Talisker and Torberg, and I know I misspelled that. I'm pretty sure I did. That we'll be able to go by and hit that. Mark JG went to Talisker, said he really enjoyed it, so it was busy. But we're taking the ferry from Skye and then going to the Isle of Raasay, and so we are going to spend the night at Alistair Day's Distillery and see him. And I'm so stoked about that. I cannot even wait. It's going to be so wonderful. If you did not see Akavite Roy's on premise show last Thursday, do yourself a favor and go watch it. Go listen to it. Go watch it. It is spectacular. And Alistair is such a good guy. I mean, he's just good people. And I'm so stoked about that. I'm going to do a sit-down interview with him that we're going to record for content, doing the distillery tour with him. And I cannot tell you how excited I'm about that. So once we do that and we get back on the road, we're going to go literally all down the West Coast. And we'll pop over again. This is where all the ferries come in. And I'm so glad I got all my ferry reservations. That was the most. Distillery tours first, then reservations on the ferry, then get your accommodations to where you're going to sleep, and then worry about transportation. Seriously, in that order. So we go down, we get from Skye back onto the mainland, and then we will be going over to Ardnamurchan. And from Ardnamurchan, we'll spend the night there at the Kilcohen Hotel. And then we go over the ferry to Mull to Tobermory. And that's going to be my next dram. And this is a Duncan Taylor cask strength, 53% from Jennifer. Jen, you give me this dram. So I'm going to pour a little bit of that. It's not quite finished with my Glenfarclas. So this is where it got a little hectic, and I had to cull some stuff, and I had to rearrange some things. And part of it is we were planning on going to Erin. I absolutely love Erin. All of it, any of it. I love it. And it just was not going to work out. Lacranza, the distillery at Lacranza is actually being worked on, and it's got a lot of construction. So we couldn't tour the distillery. And so I was like, yep, that's the malt gods telling me next time, Lee, next time. Oh, wow. So this Tobermory and Lechig, Lechig. See, I'm working on it. I'm working on those pronunciations, which is the peated version. Ooh, wee, this is malty. It's like cream of wheat in a glass. And sweet, like honey sweet, like waxy honey. Ooh, very sweet on the front end. A little herbal and grassy. Ooh, wee. Yeah, I may need some time with this one. I'm gonna let it sit there and air out and probably put a little water on it. Yeah, we're running a little late. That's okay. We're having fun, right? Let's check in and see. Oh, so Peter, we're talking about Glenfarclas here. You have a 22-year 105. If you ever see a 185, it's good or even better than 25 at half price. Really? Okay. Peter, confirm you're talking about Glenfarclas. I think you are. Um, I want to see that. Mike definitely would go to Glenfiddich and Balvenie. They're just so beautiful. I mean, they're so pretty. And that's the other thing. They're sold out, right? Stuff happens though. So if I find myself with some time and I can go by there, I'm just going to say, did you have a cancellation? They can tell me no. They can tell me that I can say, or could you add an extra? And they could say no, and that's okay. But sometimes you have to create your own luck, and you have to just kind of push it a little bit and be pleasantly persistent. And if they don't have a place, they don't have a place. That's okay. I'll book it for next time. Um, Goodness, let's see. Uh, so Michelle and her husband lead that tour. Oh, okay. Um, I'm not quite sure which tour you're talking about. Let's go back and see what Andrew was talking about. Oh, the Defton Walk. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I'm really very so good. So Martin's his Magic Kingdom is Edinburgh. Yeah. Yeah. Goodness. Peter says I miss those older Gordon and MacPhail cast strength auburn colored tubes. Still have a couple kicking around, but they were so cheap and good. Yeah. We get probably more signatory down here in independent bottlings than we do like a Gordon and MacPhail. Very rarely can we find Gordon and MacPhail down here. So yeah. Does Amtrak have trips to Scotland? No, but once you get over there, you can take the train. It's not as cheap as you might think, though. The train's actually a little pricey compared to just flying. Like you could fly from Edinburgh or Glasgow to Inverness for probably half the cost of the train. But with the train, you kind of get the whole train experience, and you're sitting there and you're watching the countryside go by. And so it kind of depends on what you're after, it really does. Um, Self control for long term gain has never been yours. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah. Um, yeah, it's going to be epic, and believe me. So Mark and I have been married for a long time. The day after we get back is our wedding anniversary. And it's truly going to be, this is probably the biggest trip we've taken together the whole time that we've been married. We've gone and done lots of fun stuff, but for away from our dogs. We have two senior dogs, and the family's really, chipping in to help take care of the pups and all of that. Um, it's really something that we're able to get away and to do this. And I'm super excited about showing Mark why I love this so much and how much this means to me. He's such a cheerleader. He's so supportive. He's always supportive in the chat, right? But I want him to see the spectacular glory of that new mate coming off of the still. I want him to smell the malt on a malting room in Lefroy. I want him to experience those things, and they probably won't be, life changing as they were for me, but I think he will understand. Okay, I get it. I get it. I get why my wife's a little crazy about this stuff now. Yes, away from the ordinary tours, super guy. Yes, he was on He was on an episode I was on with Roy about planning to go from Scotland. Super, super nice guy. Yeah, but he will find a way to do what you want to do. Hey, Tom, good to see you, my friend. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. Yes, you gave me this Tobamori sample, and it's so good. Lovely, beautiful, like all the different little. It's like portrait and sky. It's got all the different little colored houses right there by the bay, and Tobamori is gonna be wonderful. Mm. But because of the way that um and I say book those tours first, because I was like, I had figured out my route. I'm just going to go this. And then I was going to book everything. Total rookie mistake. Because when I went to go book the things I really wanted to do, they weren't offering them on that day. And I'm like, what do you mean you're not going to offer them? I can't. I'm going to be in Campbelltown and there's nothing for me to do, because they were on the weekend. We were going to be there on the weekend, and they do all the tours during the weekday. And even Daniel told me that, and I was like, oh man, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? So you got to pivot. You got to, you got to change things around. So when we come off of Mull and we get into Oban, so we're going back to where it all started. So I'm going to do something really special at the Oban Distillery. I'm real excited about that, and I'll share that with you when it's right and the right time. We're going down to Campbelltown. We were going to go to Islay first, but we're going to go all the way down to Campbelltown. And so, yeah, Campbelltown. Um, from there, it's all about the funk, right? All about the funk. So we'll do Glen Scotia, which I misspelled. You wouldn't think I was a writer, would you, with all my misspellings? Springbank and Glengyle, the Kilkerran, and then the Caden Head Shop will go by there. So we're doing 2 tours. Well, both of us are doing 1 tour. So Mark and I are going to do the Glen Scotia cask tour, and it was one of those in particular I wanted to do, but it wasn't being held that day because I wanted to be in McAllister. So I'm still working on it to where I'll be able to talk to him, the distiller there. So I'm excited about that. And then because I've heard so much about it, especially from Daniel and a few other folks, is I'm doing the barley to bottle 4 or 5 hour experience at Springbank. So we get to do, and tell me if I'm saying something wrong, Daniel, but you get to be part of the process. You get to go through the whole process at Springbank, and understanding what it is to make that whiskey. And then you get to go to the blending room and you make your own 70 cl bottle. This was the splurge in the context of how much everything else costs, because this one was 250 pounds. So it's up there, right? But you're walking away with your own full-size bottle of Springbank that you blended. And this is what the Camp Drammers are helping me do. So big shout out and a slongy all to the Camp Drammers. Your membership is helping me. That's it. So we're going to figure out something special to do with that bottle amongst the Camp Drammers. We'll figure it out once I get back. But that, to me, I had so much fun at Glengoyne doing that blending. But to do it at Springbank, to see what all they have to be able to mix and impart together, I think it's going to be an extraordinary experience. So we're there 2 nights in Campbelltown to do those, and then we go to Islay. We go home again, back to Islay, and super excited about that. This Tobermory, Jennifer, damn. It is so good. It's just very rich and very sweet. I don't know if everything's kind of getting me sweet today, but that's definitely sweet. Almost like a pineapple like a not mango, definitely pineapple and what is that sugar? Almost like when you drink the juice out of the can of pineapple. Just you take the rings out of the can and you got all the pineapple juice left over. It's got kind of that tinge to it. Mm, good stuff. So let's see. What else? So you accidentally did an unexpected tour at Glenfarclas. I bet it was fun. I bet it was nice. I want to see their stills. All the pictures of their stills are so pretty. You ever try the Tindrum single cast 10-year Glenfarclas called Gold? That sounds like a UK only kind of thing. Y'all lucky dogs. You can call up Amazon and they deliver whiskey. That's just not right. You should suffer like the rest of us. Oh goodness. Hey, Whiskey Fancies. Thanks for being in here. Yeah, I'm super excited about it. Thanks for coming in and enjoy it. Yeah, I am stoked about that, man. I am so excited about it. It's gonna it's gonna be an adventure. So we take the ferry from Kennecrag after Campbelltown. I mean, we get finished with that barley to bottle and kind of haul it, and we get to Islay. Back Isla will always be so very special because I collected some of the best memories, but especially some of the best people I've ever met, including this Jennifer person who's up in here in the chat. So we'll go there. We are staying in a bed and breakfast place that was the excise man's house at Lagavulin. Y'all. I'm pretty stoked about that. So we're doing the Ian MacArthur warehouse tour with him at Lagavulin because I though I've been to Isla twice, I've not gone to Lagavulin. So that is on Friday. We're doing that, and we'll hit Lefroy and Ardbeg. We'll just walk the whole time. There's literally a very large walkway that goes from one to the other. But then on Saturday, Rachel McNeil, who has the Whiskey Academy there on Isla, she's picking us up, and we're going to hit Bunnahabhain for the Warehouse 9 tour. Buna is bueno. I have always loved Buna, and it has evaded me. And then we'll do quick trips over to Kalila, Arnaho, Kilhoman. I really want to go and see their new visitor center and their new still house. Ardbeg has a new still house since we've been there. And then Brooklady is Brooklady. I mean, come on. It is absolutely archaic. It is Victorian. It is older than dirt, and it makes some of the most progressive whiskey. And I'll really want Mark to see that. I've been there a couple of times. I love it. I can't get enough of it. And besides, we painted our entire inside of our camp Brooklady blue turquoise. So he needs to see where I got the idea, evidently. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So now in honor of Isla, I have a very precious, and my precious. That was really a bad impersonation, but I have Ardbeg Kelpie, which y'all, I gotta wash the sweet out of this glass. I got to wash the sweet out of this glass. So when we were there for the Whiskey Academy, we went to Ardbeg, and it was like a scavenger hunt. The tour was, we just went through the whole distillery, and we would find bottles in different places. We went to they had this big dinosaur head that's over in the side garden. You walk over there, and there was a bottle of Ardbeg. I was really jonesing for the alligator on account I'm from Louisiana and we got alligators, but no go there. And so then we were getting towards the end of the tour and we go out to the jetty, the rock jetty that's out into the little bay area there, into the cove, because it sits right on the water, of course. And Rachel's like, Leon, come here, come here. So I went down and Ron, who was taking us around from Ardbeg, says, here, and he gives me a rope, and I pull the rope out of the water, and here comes a lobster trap. And it's a lobster trap about like yay big. It had 2 lobsters in it and a bottle of Kelpie. And we cracked that sucker open and turned around. Oh my gosh. Turned around and there's a complete a tray of oysters on ice. And we poured the Kelpie and the oyster, and it was French kiss, chef's kiss. Awesome. Fabulous. Unbelievable. Golly. Salty, malty, smoke. Like, oh man. I if we could chase this bottle, I'd love to try to find one of these. Oh wow. It's a little of that Ardbeg ashy, lemony, malt, lots of salt, lots of brine. But also has like an apple sweetness. Very interesting. Gotta love Kelpie. Let's see. I would do the big 3s and then one of the Bs if you had the time. Yeah. I think the most excited about Brookline and Springbank. Yeah. Brookline is just cool. And I don't know how to explain it. It's just amazing. There's so many pulleys and belts and wheels and everything from the grist mill over to take the grist over into the mash tun. And the mash tun was built in the 1800s. They still use it. It's cast iron and it's open. And it's got the lauder wheels that are just, churning everything up. And it's just the whole experience. Very, very cool. Hey, Trooper, good to see ya. Thanks for being here, my friend. Am I hanging out overnight at all? Yes, so we're spending 2 nights in Glasgow. Pot still is a must. So this is one of those things, and when we get a little bit closer, I'm 4 weeks out. It'll be 5 weeks for the pots that weekend. I was talking to Roy, and we're going to try to do like a little gathering maybe at the pot still for any of the local folks that are kind of up in that area. Some folks I've gotten to know on his channel and through here. And I said, let's look at doing a sip and see. And any of y'all who are Southern, you know what a sip and see is. I would dare say there are a lot of you that don't know what a sip and see is. And a sip and see is truly a thing that you have when someone has a baby and you have punch. And so you say, hey, we're going to have a sip and see for you to come by, sip some punch and look at the baby. And you can see the baby while you sip some punch. So we're going to have a Leanne sip and see at the pot still. Come have a dram, have a sip, and come see Leanne, or let me come see you. So we're hopefully we're gonna get that all worked out. So yeah, that's gonna be a lot of fun. So we are on Islay for 3 nights. We get all that done, and then we take the ferry back to the mainland. And the reality is closing in on us then, because we get back to Glasgow only to spend the night. And then we'll be going over to London for a couple of days. Andrew will be there because I have a date with my husband and this guy in Wembley. Yes, I'm gonna go see Harry in Wembley. So this is a picture I took of him when he was in Austin, Texas. So yeah, Wembley has been a bucket list place to see anything really, but the fact that I could see somebody I really like that. I was a mere child, but I did see Live Aid. I wasn't much of a child. I was actually quite grown. But watching Live Aid and Freddie Mercury and all of the bands that came through that, and just Wembley has just been one of those things that I've always wanted to see. So we round out that, and then the next day we fly home, and yeah, and then we celebrate our anniversary. So this whole thing is my anniversary present, and I'm very thankful that Mark is as patient with me as he is, given my my fun with this, because it is a lot of fun. Y'all make it fun, you really do. This Kelpie is incredible. Mm. But so yeah, so we're gonna it's gonna be hard to concentrate on things when I know we've got that coming. It is an epic trip. It's a once in a lifetime, all of it together kind of a trip. I realize that, and I feel quite fortunate to be able to do it. And my family is being a trooper and taking care of pups, and Mark is indulging me, and I'm really excited not just to see the distilleries and to sample the whiskey, but to meet the people who make it, because without them it wouldn't be a thing, right? It's all about the people, it's about the environment, it's about the elements, it's about the resources. So what I'm planning on doing is we're going to capture as much. We're going to go over there to have a good time first and foremost, but we're going to go and we're going to be capturing a lot of information, a lot of images, and then we're going to package it to where I can have content and share that with folks that may not be able to get over there, because I want you might be really excited about a particular distillery, but may not be able to see it. You can have a little part of it. And yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. Andrew, we definitely need to talk. I think we'll definitely, I logistically, I don't know how close you are, but let's talk, and we'll figure out something. We'll figure it out for sure, friend. That's for sure. Coming up next week, I think we're still on, but Zach Andrews, also known as the Balcones fanboy, will be my guest, and he and I are going to go through a flight of different single malts from Balcones. And Diageo just bought them. These are going to be, of course, all pre-Diageo. But the American single malt category is going to blow up, y'all. I'm just telling you. It is not Scotch. It is not Scotch, nor does it pretend to be. But the intrinsics of what they're trying to do more align with that than they do with bourbon or American whiskey. So that I'm pretty excited about. We're going to go through probably quite a few drams of that. Yeah. So Balcones is going to be a lot of fun. We've got a couple of other things going up to it. And then the night before I leave, we're doing a bon voyage. I don't know what we're going to do, but we're going to have fun. And so during my trip, the first Tuesday night, that is when I'll be in Speyside, and we're going to try really, really hard to do a show mid-afternoon in the States for that Tuesday from the Gables Whiskey B&B. The next Tuesday, I'll be in Campbelltown, and as soon as I'll make sure, but I'll let everybody know, but we plan to do a show there as well. The third Tuesday, I'm in Wembley. No show. No show that night on the 13th of June, but we'll get there. Maybe we can do an Instagram live outside Wembley. That would be a lot of fun. But y'all, thank you for indulging me. Thank you for, being a part of this. I would take you all on a field trip. If we could all go, it would be so much fun, right? But if you've got any advice, if you got any thoughts about what I need to hit, or words of wisdom, shoot them to me. Email's always open, scotchinthebayou@gmail.com. Take care of yourselves. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. We'll be back next week doing some Texas whiskey. And until that time, my friends, it's on to y'all.